Welcome to episode 9 of the 3&6 podcast, which is another red flag, green flag episode, which is going to be made easier once I get my flag back. Thank you, Tristan.
You're welcome.
In today's episode, you're going to watch two grown men argue again for your entertainment. The last time we did this, and I don't know if you watched the episode, and forgive me a monologue here, I called foul. I cried foul, and we went to what essentially is VAR, which in the UK is the video assistant referee, who goes and reviews replays. If you've not watched it, I believed that my good name was besmirched by this man, and that he had reached for his...
What? Besmirched?
Can I finish?
No,
Please.
you can't.
Can I finish? That he had raised his flag and then twisted it upon hearing the rest of the question. I believe Faceless One reviewed the replay, and it was, in fact, actually horse
I don't think that was the words Faceless One used.
And I actually won the round. So technically, I'm 5 points up because he is disqualified from the previous one. So this one really doesn't matter. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, welcome to another episode. You're going to lose.
I don't think it's called You're Gonna Lose.
Can we subtitle that? Yeah, we can subtitle You're Gonna Lose. Okay. Let's go for the questions, buddy, because I am down. I'm DTF. I'm down to fight.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to put this out right now that your confidence is a little overconfident. Just,
Mate, I have the confidence of an overweight, middle-aged white man.
That's a lot of confidence.
That's a lot of confidence, buddy.
Yeah, especially brimming. If it's linked to weight, it's a lot of confidence.
Faceless One, can we have our first question, please?
Topic today is on performance marketing. First question. Should hotels prioritize optimizing for clicks over actual bookings? Tristan.
Okay.
No, I don't think hotels should optimize for clicks over bookings. Let me just get my thoughts on quickly there.
You went very quickly there.
I was very quick, yeah. No, I don't think you should optimize for clicks over bookings. It is one of those that could be very much on the fence with this. But for me, the ultimate goal, the entire reason why your website exists, why your marketing exists, is to get bookings. So the focus of what should be happening should be on the actual bookings. Now, yes, you need clicks to get the bookings, but we've worked with enough agencies out there. We've seen enough nefarious activities to know that if you're just driving clicks without quality, without strategy, then ultimately it's not going to be in the best interest. Not every time. Admittedly, more clicks will usually lead to more bookings. But to be perfectly honest with you, I could go out and get every hotel that we work with right now 10x more clicks, probably for about the same sort of price, but it would be completely worthless and pointless traffic that's going to the website. So for me, bookings is the direct reason for the website existing. It's why we should be optimizing for that, and definitely not clicks in that very one set of circumstances.
Okay.
Benjamin.
Interesting point.
Thank you.
And I look forward to systematically dissecting it. It really does depend. Okay, it really does depend.
Is this how you systematically
going to pick you apart?
Absolutely.
Like a faulty clock.
Sounds like a loser.
Like a faulty clock. So what if you are a new hotel that doesn't have a booking engine open yet? What if you're a new brand that has no awareness? We've worked with hotels and with management groups, soft brands as well, that need awareness, that don't have any knowledge in the marketplace. They don't have any digital footprint. Nobody knows it exists. You can't optimize for bookings if you don't have a booking engine that's open. You can't, if there isn't the ability to book and nobody knows, no one's going to be searching for the brand. You're going to need to go to top of funnel. You're going to need to get eyes on those banners and fingers on those mice. And also, are we not playing a numbers game here by optimizing for clicks? Do you not have a percentage of conversion rate, which harks back to what we spoke about in one of the previous episodes about web health?
No, I think it's a future episode.
What, a different episode about web health? Is that not impacting the conversion rate? Should we not optimize for clicks, get the clicks through, the better as qualified as we possibly can clicks? Because you can qualify the clicks. I'm not saying open the doors willy-nilly. But I'm saying if we optimize for clicks,
willy-nilly bingo.
We're playing we're playing the numbers game here, and a percentage of those people, that highly qualified traffic, is going to go through to book. But again, I think the problem with and generally the problem with you as a person, is that you're very narrow-minded, and you've focused too much on the actual bookings.
This is brilliant.
Which, if I'm honest, aren't they overrated?
So we've gone from an argument to personally attacking the other person because you're losing.
This is like a therapy session. I really needed this, to be quite honest.
You're wrong.
So then I think I disagree with what you said.
Can I just say about you being ready to fight and that you're ready to win?
I'm warming up here, buddy. I'm warming up. I'm doing laps.
I think you're losing.
I'm doing my laps first.
Faceless one.
Faceless.
I'm confident all day long.
Point goes to Tristan.
Right, let's go.
Okay, then.
Question number 2. If a hotel is fully booked, is digital marketing still necessary?
She nodded at me.
Okay, go.
If a hotel is fully booked, is hotel digital marketing still necessary? Yes, it is. And I think there's several different reasons for this, because just saying a hotel is fully booked is a snapshot in time. Yeah, it's going to be a particular point. The chances of a hotel being booked completely, consistently, every single night for a very long period of time is usually quite remote. Otherwise, yeah, it is incredibly remote. So, for me, there's always going to be room, or there's always going to be rooms. There's always going to be room for booking. There's always going to be rooms for further marketing. So, realistically, you need to have an omnipresent, constantly turned on digital marketing strategy. Moreover, as well, when we're just looking at hey, there we go.
Bingo sheet.
Yeah, bingo indeed. When we're looking at a hotel being booked, that's not taking into consideration the lead time. You've got look to book. How long is it taking somebody to actually go to your website, have a shop around? Not just your website. They're going to be going to OTAs. They're going to be going to the comp set. They're going to be looking in that funnel, in that phase. And at any one point in time, so right now, there's going to be people that are right at the very top of the funnel. There's going to be people right at the very bottom of the funnel and everywhere in between. So just because you're closed at one specific point in time doesn't necessarily mean that you need to turn off your digital marketing. And my third point, I say thricely here, is that if you turn off your digital marketing campaigns and turn them on willy-nilly, there we go. If we turn them on, arbitrarily based on an external factor, which is the hotel being the external factor in this case, then things like Google Ads, SEO, whatever, marketing that you're putting in place becomes inconsistent, and it's difficult for companies like Google to be able to rank you from an SEO point of view, for you to stay consistently in the auction, because Google Ads is an auction at the end of the day. And it becomes increasingly more difficult for the algorithms to understand what you want on a consistent basis. So they're my 3 points. Argue away, loser.
So have you finished?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Sorry. I'll be entirely honest with you. I didn't listen to a word you said there.
Yeah, I know you're just going to attack me now.
Because your argument is pointless. And I'll tell you why.
See,
I'll tell you why.
And
I'll tell you why. The question prior to this one,
yeah,
where you enthusiastically raised your flag about optimizing for bookings, and you said bookings are the be all and end all.
I don't think I used that
bingo
term.
VAR, we can go back. I think it was a synonymable phrase. In the second question, you now, rather paradoxically, Tris, I might add, say that we should be spending money where there are no bookings to be made. Now, firstly, and this is a multi-pronged rebuke here. Firstly, there is no such thing as a fully booked hotel at all. So your entire argument is based on a nonsense principle.
But that was the question, Benjamin. I didn't write the
question.
No,
you didn't. No, you're right. You're right. But
I know I'm going to win this one.
As a semi-intelligent man, you should have gone. You should. If I was in your shoes, I would have said, "I'm sorry, I refuse to answer that question on the grounds it's nonsense. There is no such thing."
Well, you had the equal opportunity to say that, yet you didn't.
No,
so are you less than a semi-intelligent man?
Because I enjoy watching you squirm. Which is. Can I? You've had your time. May I?
What, squirm?
May I?
By all means.
If there are no bookings in this hypothetical, fully booked hotel, yes, you should turn your digital marketing off. Okay, let's take the question to the extreme then.
Or the extreme.
Let's take it to the extreme. Okay.
Extreme me up.
You have a hotel.
I don't.
If you had a hotel.
Thank you.
And it was fully booked and there was no room at the inn.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you spend more money if the goal of digital marketing is to get direct bookings?
Because I could put them in the stable. There's always a stable.
So, no. Okay, now I think we know we're losing. There a fully booked hotel.
No, you say we there.
No, and I'm going to
yourself.
No, and I'm going to pull face assist on this one. If there is no room to be sold,
yep,
and the hotel is 100% full, this insane hotel is 100% full forever, which is a fully booked hotel. Why on earth would you spend money trying to fill it again?
I didn't say that though, did it? The question.
Well, the question. Can we have the question again, please, Faisal?
Didn't say full forever.
Forever was not in the question, but
implied.
Implied.
If a hotel is fully booked, is digital marketing still necessary?
It's inferred, not implied.
Okay, then no. If the hotel is fully booked, the hotel. And we can split, and we can send this to the comments as well. If the hotel is fully booked, then no, we do not need digital marketing because you're full.
Okay.
Scene.
Face this one.
Sorry, Ben.
No,
Kristen.
No, right, okay, I'm vetting these questions because these are absolute bull. Right.
Of course they are.
Next one.
Absolutely.
Next one.
Question number 3. Is it a smart move to invest? Oh. Shall I continue?
Yeah, you might as well. I'm just doing a twist and lifting my sheet of paper as fast as I can. I might regret this, actually, because...
Well, you went first.
You can go first, Ben.
Thank you, I will do.
Yeah. Is it a smart move to invest in meta-search advertising before improving your website's conversion rate?
No, it isn't.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. And there's so many reasons why. First of all, the commission-only model from meta-search, which obviously put the financial risk on Google, has disappeared. So you can only do it traditionally through a pay-per-click model now through Google, through meta-search platforms. So there's a lot of financial risk, is what I would say. The second thing, and I'm glad you asked this question, and I'm glad you're giving me time to put my thoughts together.
Seems like you're stalling a bit, Ben.
No. I'm an automatic car baby. I just don't stall. So the focus, a small portion of traffic is meta search, a very small portion, okay? A small portion. Whereas you have email, you have organic, you have paid, all that goes to the website. So there's much more to be had from optimizing this conversion rate of this website than there is this small sliver of business and traffic. Whereas larger optimization you could do will impact social, paid, organic, email marketing, referral. It all goes through the website and the booking engine. So there's much larger an impact to be had from optimizing this than there is in this.
My God.
Yeah, go on.
Can I have the question again?
Is it a smart move to invest in meta-search advertising before improving your website's conversion rate?
Yes, it is. Because, Benjamin, what you've failed to remember is that meta-search doesn't go to the website. It goes to the booking engine.
No, yeah, aware.
So in terms of actually having channels switched on, yes, I'd probably put meta-search on in the case where you were talking about earlier on. I'm going to use yours against you.
Go.
Like almost in reverse when you said you didn't have a booking engine, but you had a website. Well, actually, it's normally what happens is you have the booking engine before you have the website in those circumstances. So yes, I would turn meta-search on before optimizing the website, because if the website doesn't even exist, you can still have meta-search on because it goes to your booking engine. Equally, if your website needs optimizing, yes, it's incredibly important to do that as part of a wider holistic strategy, as we've discussed in a future one. But for me, the website is almost superfluous.
Interesting.
Almost doesn't matter in terms of meta search because it goes direct to the booking engine. Okay. So for me, the question, a little bit leading there, a little bit misleading, and someone took the bait, didn't they, Ben?
No. The question was, should you invest in, which is a suggestion of, where should you spend the money? What you're suggesting, foolishly I might add, is funneling this money blindly into meta search.
You look like you've lost again,
What
Ben.
I'm saying is that the money would be better invested in this larger, more productive part of a marketing and distribution strategy. So what you're saying is spend the money on this tiny little piece of meta search. There's only one channel of acquisition. Where I'm saying that money could be better spent invested in the website as a whole, which will impact many more channels of revenue.
But that wasn't.
Do you disagree? But
that wasn't the question.
But it was inferred. Where would you?
It's
Where would you
not- it's
better?
inferred, not
Where would
implied
you
now, is it?
invest the money? The
Okay.
question was, where would you invest the money?
It
Where would you-
wasn't.
What
It
did the
didn't say
question-
when investment money.
Is it a smart move to invest in meta search advertising before improving your website conversion rate?
Can you just take my smug face for a second?
Yeah, you got one little bit right. I still think you've lost the question.
Okay. Well,
Faceless one.
Unfortunately for you, Ben, that was a green flag. So point goes to Tristan.
Lindsay, you're fired.
As it
Lindsay,
stands,
you're hired. Don't worry about it.
3 points for Tristan, 0 for Ben.
What was that again? Sorry, I missed that. The microphone broke. There's no microphone.
3-0.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I'm going to stab you.
Oh,
Right. Any more questions?
well, hang on. How many questions are there?
There are 5 questions. We have 2 more.
So if it's 3-0, I've already won.
I mean,
No, you know what? I'm not going to do anything now. I'm just not going to. You can have at it, my friend. Have at it.
no,
Go knock yourself out. Go on, son.
I'll let you
you.
disagree
You
with
knock
some of these
yourself-
answers.
I
Actually, disagree with some answers.
Sorry, I'm just going to have a snooze now.
He's quite old. Right, next.
Question number 4.
The charade of
Is it a mistake to focus only on Google Ads and ignore Bing? Tristan.
Yes, it is.
Go on.
It is a mistake to only spend all of your time on Google Ads and not on Bing. Because they're both channels that you should have in a wider strategy. Now, Bing might not always work, but what we do find that when you're invested in certainly in Bing ads alongside Google ads, that the return on investment that you get from Bing ads is in many cases higher than Google. Albeit the search volume is smaller, but the OTAs are on there. So if you're not on there, they're ultimately going to be stealing the business from you in any case. So yes, in a wider strategy, you should prioritize both Google and Bing and not prioritize one over the other. And the really, really simple thing for this, and all sort of like joking aside as well, I've often thought this was a genius move by Bing, is you can import your Google Ads settings from Bing. So from a digital marketing point of view, you can actually manage it almost remotely. You can set it up. It was a genius move by Microsoft. That was probably like what they've done. They've done the Pepsi Coke thing, where they've realized like Coke is the bigger one. The Pepsi has always known it's number 2. Bing realized that it was number 2. So instead of trying to, rage against it and fight against it, he said, well, okay, let's recognize that and then import all the settings that come in. So for me, are you still looking at your watch?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I've already won. It's fine.
We'll send it to the
You just got to take the ball. It's good. So for me, yes, you should strategize and have both of them in there.
Don't think that was a question. Can the question again, Faceless, please?
Is it a mistake to focus only on Google Ads and ignore Bing?
It depends on what you're chasing. It really does.
Are we chasing clicks again?
Now, first of all, I took umbrage with you prioritizing 2 things. By the definition of the word, you can only prioritize one of them, or 2 of them. So, you fool. If you are looking for vanity metrics like return on ad spend, yeah, sure, stick your ads on Bing. All right, spend 30 cents, accidentally get a $3,000 booking, get a pat on the head like a good boy at your revenue, or girl, at your revenue meeting next month. However, if you're chasing meaningful data, if you're chasing revenue and you want the world's biggest search engine and you want
I've already won.
the biggest search engine and you want to maximize your exposure on there, ignore Bing until you have maximized what you can do on Google. Now, whether or not that's implied in the question, This is a matter of ethics. This
It's implied and inferred.
This
again.
isn't a matter of flags. This is a matter of ethics. Okay.
Absolutely.
I do
Very
not,
ethical. Yes,
you should maximize and disagree if you want to here on camera.
I already have.
If you don't think that you should maximize your exposure on Google first before going into Bing.
In what sense, though?
Every single dollar you can squeeze out of a Google ads campaign. I'm talking RSAs, display, all types of remarketing.
What about non-brand?
Oh, definitely.
So you maximise non-brand before you
maximize your benefits and what you can get from non-brand. Yes.
Before you go for brand on Bing.
I would 100% do that. Yeah.
That's only because you didn't put your
I
card
would
up
definitely do that, and I'll die on that hill. I wouldn't spend $1 on Bing before I got everything I could out of a Google campaign.
Faceless one.
It's bullshit because I know who's written this answer, and that's bullshit, Lindsay.
Point goes to Tristan.
This is bullshit.
What is?
Absolute bullshit because she doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
What does Lindsay know about this? Nothing.
She will not. She's
Nothing.
consulted our
She's consulted horse.
You're just losing 4-0 and you're a sore loser.
Next one. I can't wait till you have to do what I know you've got to do next. I'm going to stuff so many balls in your mouth.
What?
Yeah, and you can use that as a soundbite for the next episode, mate.
I feel violated
You give
already.
it dribbling down your chin, pal.
Okay, then. That's fine.
Let's even the playing field.
Yeah.
This will be all or nothing.
Okay.
So right now, Tristan is up 4-0. Next point is all or nothing. Should hotels spend more on Meta ads than on Google ads?
I'm going red.
Tristan.
Okay, by Meta, do you Meta search off Facebook?
Should hotels spend more on Meta ads than Google ads?
Good luck on this one because this is another inferred implied question.
Give me the question again.
Should hotels spend more on Meta ads than on Google ads?
No, they shouldn't. I'm going to go red, as I did.
Okay.
No, we know from just historical knowledge that there is a greater return on investment. There's a greater search volume on for bottom of funnel conversions for Google and diversionary tactics away from the OTAs.
Okay. Sorry, Faceless. Can I have the question one more time?
Should hotels spend more on Meta ads than on Google ads?
Should a hotel spend more on Meta than on Google? No, they shouldn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Meta or Meta search?
Well, it just said Meta.
Okay, all right.
Well,
No, go. You answer the question, you answer. You answer the question. You answer the question.
It doesn't say meta search. Well, even if it was meta search or it was meta, it doesn't matter. Google, at the end of the day, is going to be the biggest channel and is the biggest channel for spend on, I would say, 95% plus of the hotels that we work with. Again, I'll help you out.
No, I know exactly what I'm going to say.
Do you? Okay. In terms of, you're going to tell me. Oh, I can't. No, I can just go really far down. That's
and that's where you are going.
Yeah, I will go really far down. Yeah.
Go on, you've wasted 15 seconds.
Anything to do with balls again, I'm out. I'm just nope, not happening. So for me, Google's king. Google is the priority. So that's where the budget needs to go, because at the end of the day, that is where the vast majority of the bookings end up coming. You also have the issue with attribution models on Meta. They're overly generous, to say the very least, especially when taking into consideration, look through conversion, not look through audiences, look through conversions and various other aspects that Meta do not make it particularly easy to figure out. So we know that other agencies that are out there are reporting millions to one in return on ad spend on Facebook, on Meta, when the reality is it's not. There's a huge amount of view through that goes on in there. Whereas we report far more transparently. We are going to give you what Meta's saying, but we're going to break it down. We're going to tell you. So based on that, I think where Google is using a much more transparent. Well, it should be, because it can be changed as well.
Okay, let's be careful what we say.
No, that's a fair point. Yeah. So with Google, if it's using a transparent and apples for apples attribution model, then more money needs to go into Google.
Okay.
Go. Do you want to stop your watch? You have to wave your arm a lot more if you didn't.
No. Okay. I've heard what you said.
Yeah.
I've sat through what I think was the biggest pile of nonsense.
Already won again.
Since
he's not actually arguing.
A quite recent address that I won't go into. And I'm surprised, if I'm honest. I thought better. And I'm reassessing a lot of the choices I've made over the last 15, 16 years. So first of all...
Yeah, you really should reassess a lot of them decisions.
First of all, I disagree.
Do you?
Obviously.
Because you have to.
No. For real reasons, and the reasons are this.
A lot of stalling going on.
No, if you let me finish. Thank you. Google is essentially a vacuum cleaner, a Hoover, a Dyson, if you will, picking up the sweet booking fruit from the floor, okay?
The low-hanging booking
It's not even low-hanging, it's fallen to the floor. And I'll tell you why it's fallen to the floor, Tris.
Why is that?
Awareness tactics on platforms such as Meta.
Really?
The banner, the awareness tactics, the sort of prospecting that is the lifeblood of an early stage advertising campaign. That, is where I would spend my money, because without that, Google wouldn't be there to just hoover up the easy stuff.
No, it'd be the OTAs, wouldn't it?
Well, no, that's an entirely different conversation that, frankly, I don't want to get into right now.
Yeah, of course you don't want to get into
it right now. I'm going to answer the question here. So, no, if I had money, and I think that search behaviour is changing. You know this as well, you should know this. And again, I'm concerned you don't. That the search behaviours are changing. The kids, the young people, they're moving more to social searching rather than the search engines searching. And aren't they the future?
Yeah.
Aren't kids the future?
On TikTok.
Which is sort of like math.
I think we should end it.
Which is sort of like math.
It's just like...
You took a risk by raising so quickly. You took a real risk. That was a risk.
No, there's no risk. This is just supreme
absolute risk.
I'm just better prepared than you. That's what it is.
That is exactly the case.
I am more in tune with how to win this game than you are. You're just a big flappy gums.
No, that was
gonna
a risk.
Give it all. No,
you could have.
There was
it could
zero
easily
risk.
have said, should you spend more on Google than Facebook?
There was zero risk.
Lindsay, you're fired again because you've sent him these questions.
Who wins face this one?
I don't give a what she says.
That seems to be your catchphrase.
Eat my balls next.
And Tristan sweeps.
So if that's 8-0 then, because it was worth 4 points. So technically it's 8-0 for me. Did you not get a single question right there, Ben?
That's a matter of opinion. That's a matter of opinion.
Wow.
That's a matter of opinion.
Do you want to know what?
Lindsay, you're fired again.
Three
times.
Lindsay, you rehired because what actually happened was I bribed Faceless One and she told me all the answers before this.
Three times.
Completely missed it.
No, I heard it. You both made a very powerful enemy. A very powerful enemy. Till next time.
Good to watch you squirm.